I mean, that's going to be for double latency issues, so I don't want to worry about it.
Yeah. So I guess there's the cold open. Hello and welcome everyone to the Untitled Elite Podcast.
Yay.
The podcast that we don't have the arcs to rename yet.
Boo.
I'm one of your hosts, Minnie Celeste, and I'm joined by the lovely... Well, I'll let them introduce yourselves. I'm the one talking right now. I'm Minnie. My pronouns are she and her. Gina?
Hi, I'm Gino Garin. I'll be your player 2 for this evening, and my pronouns are he, they. Admiral?
I'm Admiral Star Dragon, leader of the Nebula Roses. Pronouns she, her. Definitely not addicted to spice right now.
The spice.
Have you stopped playing?
I don't think she has.
I'm currently not playing it.
But
I think Molly pointed out, she was like, we've lost Celine. She hasn't played Elite or Star Citizen in 2 weeks.
yeah, maybe you can give me your seat on the partner program.
I played it today. Look, it's a busy week.
Yeah.
It has been one of the weeks of all time, yeah.
Why are we here today, kids?
Oh, gosh.
The answer's obvious. The big boy, the large lad, the Panther Clipper Mark II. They've finally given us details. They've finally shown us a video. Mayhaps we'll put some of that video in the background. But, she hot.
Oh, yeah.
I'm probably the only person in existence to still hold this, but I don't think they should have called it Panther Clipper. Just out of spite. Just could have left that name in a file somewhere and just called it the Bullfrog, the Deuce, the Boa.
Okay, but they did that already with the Mamba Mark II. They renamed it the Mandalay, and come on, it's the Mamba.
Yeah, it is very.
It's a Mamba cockpit. It's the Mamba body.
But to see the people go, that should have been the Panther Clipper, would have been funny to me.
That I can't argue.
I am a faithful admiral.
You know how much I love tears in this game.
Such a shit disturber.
Yeah. Okay, so I actually did write a couple of notes down. If we wanted to just react a little bit, I went top to bottom, starting off with the fact that they outright called it the biggest trader in the game, and I don't think anybody's going to be able to argue with that.
So, well, numbers-wise, how much does the cutter carry at its most? Like, if you're running shieldless and scoopless, how much does it carry?
I think the comments might murder me about this, but I'm pulling out of my head 796 if you completely 100% no auto dock, no shields, no nothing, all cargo bays, 796.
Okay.
792, 796, something like that.
Yeah, almost 800, but not quite.
I know the Type 9, I'm running shieldless, no scoop, only an auto dock and a super cruise assist, and I'm getting 768 plus shipping and handling. So the Type 9 and cutter are fairly comparable. You're only, 20, 30 tons off each other.
It also kind of depends on what you're prioritizing. Like, if you want to put a shield on your cutter, and you probably should because it's a cutter, the smallest shield you can make, like engineer today, and put on a cutter is going to drop you below 750 tons of cargo, which isn't the break point it used to be, but the Type 9 actually can have a shield and break 750. So there was a bit of a debate back then when, it used
if you call a bubble of tissue paper a shield?
Yeah, I know. Poor Type 9. It's something at least for bumps and bruises, but no, it's not gonna stop.
You're better off engineering your hull. You're better off deep plating that thing.
Yeah. I mean, you could do both.
So, the Lorg boy. I've done a little bit of math, and
well, I mean, before we get into math, let's just name off the slots: 2 size 8s, 2 size 7s, 3 size 6, 2 size 5, a 4, a 2, and a 1.
Rip to the size 3. He will be missed.
Yeah, F in chat for size 3. I actually kind of find that a little annoying, and the only reason I find that annoying is specifically because they like Olympic controllers. They only come in odd sizes.
Mm-hmm.
So like the size 3, like what are we gonna do about that?
Put it in a size 4 and cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, just about. Or put a size 5 and deal with it.
Blow an entire size 5 for one extra limpet. Which, jeez. Can we talk for a second about how you have to increase the size of a controller by 4 times in order to get one more limpet out of it? How much radio interference are they dealing with per limpet?
I don't know, but the multi-controllers seem to do it much better because the amount the multi-controllers can operate at one time just blows the standards
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
out of the water.
Given the amount of years that FDev have worked on fixing limpets in general, I would imagine they're a bit of a bitch.
Maybe the limpet controllers themselves can get a little bit of a buff, but I think we're getting off track.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like,
so
yeah, like Celine
cargo
said,
numbers.
2 size 8s, 2 size 7s, 3 size 6, 2 size 5, a 4, a 2, and a 1. There's one of the size 8s and one of the size 7s are locked slots, which has always been a bit of a controversial thing, but I think in this case, like, they're only locked to cargo, and those 2 slots can take
Optimized cargo bays.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, optimized cargo base, which get 50% more.
I love this, as FDev is acknowledging limiting the slots capacity to just cargo or fuel tanks, but also having something that only fits in that is a bonus for using that slot, as opposed to the military slots you have in ships now, where it's like it doesn't allow you to have more armor just because it's a dedicated military slot. It's just a limitation. But in this one, it's like you get a bonus for using it, incentivizing you not to leave it empty.
What it sounds like is these are actually going to be different modules. So like, the corrosive cargo racks.
Yep.
That's what I gathered from it. So you're going to have other modules you can slot in there, but you can only put those modules in there. They're only available for the Panther Clipper at the moment.
I heard what you're hearing. Like, this is a module type that is either specifically locked to only cargo and fuel and the special module type, but it's possible that the Panther Clipper can equip it in the non-specialized slots as well.
Kind of like the it could operate like the special passenger cabins for the Sod Kruger ships.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's like a mix between the two, because it used to be years ago when FDev had the designated passenger slots for those ships. It worked a little bit like that, and instead they kind of switched it to the model where only the Sod Kruger line could equip these modules. Now they're kind of doing a blend of both, where the only ship that can host the larger module slots is the Panther Clipper, but they also have a dedicated module slot that I think, I'm not entirely sure if it's you have to put it in the dedicated slot and they're the only ones that can get the optimized cargo racks, or you can put the optimized cargo racks in both the 8s and both the 7s.
Yeah, I'm not too sure on that one, because I took it as the former where you can only put them in the optimized slots, but maybe it's the other way. I don't know yet.
It's a possibility.
I do think we see these specialized cargo / fuel pod areas on the ship's design, and we've been seeing them since they've shown us what the ship looks like.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
that large darker gray section. Yeah,
the middle bit. So it's the middle bit.
I mean, that makes sense if you can optimize it instead of having to build it like a warehouse with like area in between for something to go in and grab out a particular piece of cargo. Instead of, you just have an entire bay that can be dropped out of the ship, opened up, and you can optimize more of the space. Yeah, I could see you putting 50% more space in because you have to use 50% less cargo hallway, if that makes any sense. So it's not like it's just folding space. It's
kind of like a ship in, don't shoot me, Elite Dangerous, but in the other space game. The Raft, where it has the rear area is an underslung open air bay for cargo.
This really does kind of look like a giant raft, doesn't it?
So you're saying the aft of the raft can take a lot of cargo?
Yeah.
It's got a lot of junk in the trunk.
You can really pack it in the aft.
Yep. I love this show already.
And it looks like the Panther Clipper is going to be really able to take it up there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We thought the Type 9 could take the load.
I mean, it's already on all fours. It's ready. So, anyway, completely switching topics. I want to go back to the unique slots. They can take cargo bays or fuel tanks. I thought this was an interesting choice from FDev. Like, very few people put additional fuel tanks onto their ships besides one class of player. We know
Fuel
who
rat.
that is. Yeah, exactly. The fuel rats. So
That, or you're going to have people loading it up for SCO runs.
long distance exploration, I guess.
Something like that. I can see this, doing some stupid stuff with Super Cruise Overdrive.
Oh, definitely.
With that much fuel.
Oh, yeah. They'll
But,
definitely
like-
be able to make the hut and run so fast and then not dock.
But new hut and run.
True.
The new hut. and
True.
run.
New Hutton.
But I can see this being quite the fuel tanker. It's like, will it ever actually run out of fuel?
With a proper fuel scoop
We're-
on it? I don't think so.
No.
I'm going to have to try.
And you know what? I think this would be interesting if somebody designated this as a support class for a long distance exploration group, something like what's coming up, Distant Worlds 3 in January of 2026. A couple of these set up to be fuel rats wouldn't even necessarily need to leave their position for a very long time. They could set up like little mini space gas stations, fuel up anybody that drops into their instance, and then like spend hours if they can load up on fuel tanks and have that kind of space. So
Yeah.
maybe it's quite interesting. Also, speaking of collaboration, the first new ship that's going to have a fighter bay in it. I'm sure everybody's so excited.
Yeah. Actually, this is a fair point. Like, this is the first new ship
Here's-
to have a fighter bay.
Here's the neat thing. If I understood correctly, and we are just talking about the size 7 and size 8 bays, and the understanding that the two specialized ones are the only ones that can handle the optimized. If we just put those as dedicated cargo, and then do whatever we want with the size 6 down, it would still be carrying 960.
Yeah, it's damn near 1,000 tons of cargo. In fact, if you mess around with one or two of the smaller sizes like a 6, you can break 1,000 tons of cargo and still basically have anything you want in terms of internals. Like the other size 6 for a shield and a fuel scoop, the 2 size 5 for jump range booster, and I don't know, something else like not a universal limpet controller because that's a 7, but like, a recon limpet controller or operations limpet controller. And then, a couple extra little bits and doodads here and there, maybe a size 2 cargo, SRV bay. So,
Hear me out. Size 6 shield, the 960 cargo, 2 fighter bay. I think a fighter bay at least in the
Maybe a
size
6.
6.
yeah, the 6
Yeah.
has 2 different type of fighters in it. Yeah.
Okay, the 2 recon limpet or the operations controller, and maybe another person in the party, and that bitch could almost bleed a that ship could almost bleed a cargo mega ship if you wanted to yar her fiddly it.
This is going to be really interesting to see
Because-
as a pirate ship.
Mm-hmm.
It is
which-
going to have 10 hard points.
Yeah, this is a perfect segue
Mhm.
here. 10 hard points. The Type 10 had 9.
Which is a
It's
missed
still a bit more
opportunity.
It's still a bit more of a battleship, with the Type 10 doing 2 small, 3 medium, and 3 large.
4 large.
Right?
Four
4 large. Yeah. So the Type 10 is still very much more of a combat ship.
Yeah.
The numbers on our big boy here are
2
4
large,
small.
4
4 small, 4 medium, 2 large.
Mhm.
Yep.
You're going backwards.
Yeah.
Which to me, if I'm thinking about what I want to use this for, I'm thinking put somebody else in the passenger seat, make them a gunner, set them up with all seeker missiles, and have it just be a Gundam. Like the 2 large and the 4 mediums, all pack-hounds. The 4 smalls, additional seeker missiles with things like emissive, drag, that new, sneak in one of the new seeker FSD missiles in there somewhere in one of the mediums or larges to your taste. Like, you could fire an absolute ass load of missiles out of this thing. It's a true Gundam.
Yeah.
And missiles can be used by gunners too. Yeah, and missiles, I'm pretty sure you can put a turret gunner on the missiles, and they can lock targets from any direction. Like, well, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to have to check that, but I think you can literally just lock on to anybody anywhere. So
I'm not sure about that.
I have to double check, but I think I've seen people doing things where they would lock on with missiles from things, people who are on the side of them or behind them.
Something. What if?
Right.
What if the 3 of us did like a group trading run with these, and just have 2 people in the in
the bridge.
Yes, that word.
That
Thank
new
you.
bridge. Love that new bridge.
Oh God, it's hot. It looks so good.
Mm-hmm. I was kind of, I don't think I would say I was hoping, but I was kind of expecting FDev to throw a curveball in there and say that they were also going to allow people to walk around the bridge because there was enough space in there, not just for the chairs. They didn't end up saying that. And don't get it twisted, I don't think they're going to, but the way they kept on talking about how it was a bridge, I was like, are you guys implying something? Are you gonna say something that everybody's been peeing themselves over for years and years? They didn't, but it's still funny. Just funny to think about.
I believe they want to, but I have my own thoughts on ship internals and stuff like that.
Oh God, we could go off on that for hours.
Speaking of internals, the core components look interesting.
I've got the notes in front of me if you'd like me to read them out.
Yeah,
go for it.
All right, so starting off with a size 8 power plant, not terribly surprising there. Size 8 thrusters, again, not surprising. Size 7 FSD, I thought they might have gone with a size 8, but, because everything was supposed to be huge about this ship, but
I'm not sure I've ever seen a size 8.
I don't think they exist in the game right now, so maybe they're holding out. Size 5 for the life support and sensors, which not really important here or there.
That's fine.
Yeah, size 7 power distributor, which is pretty good, and a size 7 fuel tank. So it already has an enormous fuel tank built into the core internal. And then they're going to let you have
size 7 fuel tank again?
That's size 7. You can have 128 tons of fuel as standard in this ship.
Is there any ship with that?
Oh, I don't know.
That's a good question.
You have to look that up
because
in,
I think the Type 9 has a 64 ton, doesn't it?
It's Etsy. Respond to us.
Coriolis, hear my cry. Okay,
I'm
Anaconda has a size 5.
That is shocking.
Where's the cutter? Yeah, the cutter has a size 6. This is the largest internal, standardized fuel tank in the game, I think.
What is the Type 9?
Type 10 Defender has a 6.
Type 9 Heavy is a 6. Yeah, they're 64 ton.
Yeah.
So size 7 fuel. This is the largest fuel tank in the game.
I think you can. So you can put fuel tanks into regular and optional internal slots. You always have been able to do that. So I think there's up to a size 8 fuel tank, but this is the first ship to include a size 7 fuel tank as standard in its core internals.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
Kind of nutty.
That's wow.
Which makes me think you probably don't even need to add additional fuel tanks into this thing, much less a size 7 or a size 8, which just makes it a little bit stranger as to why FDev would make the unique cargo slots include fuel tanks. It's already got 128, and you're going to slap another 128 tons of fuel in there? Why wouldn't you just put in a fuel scoop?
No, just put in the size 8, get 256 extra.
Jesus Christ.
I think they want to see people SEO racing with this thing.
Now
We're gonna have to see how it handles heat.
that is something. I don't think they said that it had SEO enabled by default. They didn't say it was
I think
that
it's
kind
a
of thing.
given.
I think it's probably a given. Yeah, to be sure.
Yeah,
But it's interesting that they
rem-
decided not to say that this time around.
If I remember correctly, they didn't exactly say anything about that with the Corsair.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've just sort of slipped into this, oh, all the new ships are SEO enabled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because, like, of anything, they want it to be one of the unique selling points to sell the ship. Let's be fair. This is a marketing technique. They're trying to make it valuable. Not that I have any problem with that. I'm going to be buying the Stellar version day one, which, by the way, the Stellar version. Ooh.
Oh,
Hey,
she
Editor
looks
Gino.
so good.
Editor Gino, put the Stellar version on screen. Look at this thing.
Wow.
It has a gigantic
Actually-
spoiler, and that's one thing I was like,
Actually,
oh, it's
Actually,
gotta be.
you know what? No.
So
You-
the
you
spoiler
can have
actually like
this. You can have the seller. That's fine. I think people are gonna really want this one. If Editor Gino can throw this on screen, they're gonna be into this. But this right here,
yeah, I want that. I want it.
Oh, yeah.
I want to point out the
I really hope
that
I know
is
what I'm talking
that
about.
that's basic. That's mostly pink.
Oh yeah, the
that's
owners
pink.
club with the pink. Oh gosh, yeah. What ship is this? Because I don't think you have to necessarily put this onto the Panther itself, but the fact that they put it on like a mauve-ish, pink-ish paint job is fantastic. I mean, Minnie, that's right up your alley anyway. But like,
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I love the fact that the Zorgon Peterson went ahead and snuck their logo into it. Like, yeah, oh, it's the Owners Club, Panther Clipper. Ooh, brought to you by Zorgon
Well,
Peterson.
yeah.
Just remember.
Yeah, I mean, look, we all know Elite is a capitalist hellscape.
Oh god,
It makes sense.
mega corporations
Same.
literally being governments of entire star systems. Yeah, it's a capitalist hellscape.
Oh, what was I gonna say? Gosh, the paint job on the Stellar looks so good. That
It
black,
does.
orange, and gold.
I mean,
They're black, white, and gold.
like, it's unfortunate you said the word orange because again, like, I have no power, but I'm putting my foot down anyway. FDev, put more orange skins in the game, especially on the new ships. They all have yellow paint jobs. Please.
You know what, FF?
I'm drowning out here.
Hashtag Gino for Elite Partner.
Oh, Jesus.
Hashtag Gino for Elite Partner.
Oh, God. Anybody who doesn't know what that is going to be very confused. I guess I'll just go over it
Look,
quickly.
They can Google it.
Make the Ganker get Elite in Exobio.
Yeah,
Do it.
I guess I'll just go over it quickly. Both Minnie and Celine are part of the Elite Dangerous Partner Program, and I am not.
Yeah.
And if FDev wants to give me Meccan seat, sorry, I didn't say that. If FDev wants to give me a seat with the Elite Dangerous Partner Program by the end of the year, then I will be going from 0 Exobio to Elite Exobio on stream, and I will stream nothing else. So that's the challenge. Anyway, I'm not looking forward to that, and oh my god.
Do it, FF.
I just realized
Do it.
they probably already have the list. They probably already have the list of people. Oh god, this is making me. Oh, they probably already have the list already set up, and I have no idea if I'm on it or not. I'm so concerned.
Do it.
I
No,
can't
you
breathe.
want to.
Yeah, by the time the next episode rolls around, I think we're gonna know one way or the other. But for right now, I'm just stuck in limbo.
Well, make sure you're signed up for it and everything.
God, I must have
Make
signed
sure
up
you
like
updated
5
your
separate
stuff.
times.
Yeah, I've done the same. I did the same before I got yanked in. So
FDev, please yank me. Please yank me. I'm desperate.
what
If
other
they
bits do we need to
yank
touch
him.
on here?
Jesus Christ. Okay, we're getting off topic. Let's see. We got
What are
the.
the points? What have we not touched on yet? We talked about the internal slots.
So I like
We
the
talked
fact
about
that FDev
Internal what?
confirmed that you can get 1,000 tons of cargo on this thing,
Yeah.
plus a shield and other modules. This is something I think I've talked to both of you guys about, where my hope, my little wish list for this ship was that it would not be able to reach that 1,000 ton limit if you wanted to put a shield on it. And that did not happen. And I'm okay with that because honestly, it was kind of one of those, is the math even going to math on this one? But the fact that...
Can we?
Go ahead.
Can we talk about the people that were crying about it not hitting 2,000?
I was just about to segue into that. Like, I'm okay with where it is for cargo. The fact that, especially, they put in the optimized cargo racks for 50% more. I think if they didn't, I might have gotten my wish, which is, it's a little prescient for me. But yeah, 1,200-ish cargo. That was right where I was thinking.
So
the number of people that were saying 1,500 or we riot or 2,000 or we riot in the stream today was awful. Like, petulance like I have not seen. And I've seen the Elite Dangerous community. Like, oh.
It's really funny because, like, on Reddit...
Elite community, I love you, but y'all gotta learn how to act in public.
Yeah. Like... in the partner Discord, a couple of them were saying like, "Hey, don't spam the emote. That's how you get banned."
What emote?
There's apparently a Pink Panther emote that was made.
Nice. I mean, that is good.
Specifically though, like, people on Reddit have been a lot more like realistic with this. A lot of people were saying, "Yeah, as long as like over 1,000." Like 1,200 is pretty awesome.
Kind of a rare W for Reddit, but
yeah,
hey.
True. I mean, Reddit most of the time is, just ban gankers and block them and then switch to solo and you never have to worry about the player base again. And it's like, okay, enjoy your MMO light with no players. Jesus Christ.
Salt. So numbers wise, completely stripped of everything save for cargo, you're looking at 1,238 tons of cargo. That is with the optimized slots. That is no shield that is no fuel scoop. That is no shield. That is no FSD booster. No assists.
Which you could probably still get away with.
Tons.
Like, we all know how useless the NPCs are. Even if you're combat elite and you get bounties applied to you and then you decide to haul cargo in this thing, if you engineer it with like a military grade hard exterior, the hull, and then you heavy duty deep plate it, you're probably going to end up with well over 1,500 hull anyway. And this thing's not going to go fast, but nothing's going to mass lock it. So you're just going to low wake again.
It's probably not going to have near as much hull.
You're going to be mass locking stations.
Yeah. What were you saying earlier on stream, Admiral? Make way for larger traffic. Bitch, I am the larger traffic.
Right. No, I was saying that. I was saying that during the unlog.
Mm-hmm.
Bitch, I am the larger vessel.
Right?
Like, the first... I'm going to be living to hear that whenever I pull it out to use. Make way for larger vessels. What larger vessels? Is a mega ship coming through? Are you landing a Farragut?
Yeah, pulling a Farragut into the mail slot. Fellows, am I right? Am I right, fellas?
Do I have to dodge a Majestic class interdictor?
Yeah, no, there's not going to be
larger vessels.
There's not going to be anything larger in this because let's face it, most of the time, FDev hasn't even gotten corvettes and cutters flying around stations. They only really show up in very specific circumstances in like combat zones.
I'm really surprised we've never seen that. Although we've seen Type 10 show up occasionally. So.
Very rare Type 10. We'll see Type 9s a lot, but no cargo cutters, which I guess makes sense because FDev probably doesn't want them to be seen as what we use them for. Glorified garbage scows. They'll use the Anaconda for that. But
I see more corvettes are mostly in special kill missions.
Yeah, the high level assassination missions, they'll have kind of medium assassination because the higher levels usually is a Fer-de-Lance with like three three vultures that all have engineered weapons?
Those are the team assassination.
Oh, yeah. The high-level regular ones.
Solo assassination.
Sorry, they all just blend together. Bless you, honey. They all just blend together for me when I'm running around with my Corsair. Mission. Let's go.
Type 10s mostly show up as enemies sent to take you down or something. Oh, you've got someone sent out to stop you.
And it's a Type 10.
See a few Type 10s.
Man, even an unengineered person is just going to look at that and go, can I leave? Because I'm just going to go ahead and go. And then they just boost away. But yeah, so I don't think NPCs are going to be getting the opportunity to fly the Panther Clipper anytime soon. Mostly because we've already seen what happens to the toast rack at Jameson Memorial when more than two people have been in instance for like 10 minutes.
I think we'll probably see some NPC ones, given it's not like a special ship. It's just a cargo ship. It's not like rank locked or anything. So it'll be interesting to see. It's going to be really interesting to see what it can do, like defensively. We already kind of touched on that with the hard points, but like just loading it up with nothing but like burst lasers. I like it, burst lasers or like missile racks or something, and just like, yeah, letting them just be turrets, and you know, who knows? Maybe it'll just nuke an Anaconda.
It's also Zorg and Peterson, and they've been more often than not good with shields. So
decent, yeah, I would suspect.
Well, it's also got that size 7 power distributor.
Yeah,
which is pretty big. That's like actually properly sized for what going on here.
I wouldn't be surprised if within the first month somebody ends up making an AFK Panther Clipper build and making a video about it so people can have Elite Dangerous play itself even more than it already does. Sorry, am I being a little vindictive? I might be being a little vindictive. Like, I just, man, ooh, can I go off? I'm going to go off. I do not understand.
I remember the AFK type 10s.
I don't understand the players who insist that they can't put a shield on their cargo ship, but will fully build and engineer something that can play the game for them for 8 hours so they can come back to 7 million extra credits. Like, literally, it's a couple million credits if they build it right and they don't die and they spin it properly and they have cargo that doesn't end up getting pinched. Like, all these ifs, so they can make a tiny bit of profit, but they cannot for the life of them figure out that putting a shield on their cargo ship makes them safer and not susceptible to loss. I can't with these people.
You need to know that shield takes up a handful of extra cargo, which is just like the other thing, extra profit. And that's all they see.
Yeah, in fact, I actually had somebody on, not one of my YouTube videos, but another YouTube video commenting on how the one and only time their shieldless cutter was attempted to be ganked, they just had point defense and heat sinks and chaff all over it, and they put, you know, a reactive surface composite on it, which, oh my god, double your rebuy, please. And they're like, oh yeah, they'd never gank me. And it's like, my brother in Braben, your thrusters are right there. I have frag cannons.
Yeah. They're gonna take out your thrusters.
Like, let me just spread that ship pussy wide open and tell you how all the armor in the world isn't going to save you when your thrusters are dead.
Did we finish talking about how much cargo space it has?
Yeah, I think we touched on that a bunch. Let's go back and summarize. So it's going to have a unique slot that has specialized optimized cargo racks that can hold 50% more than a normal size cargo rack. And with that, if you just did cargo, it can hold over 1,200 tons of cargo for a single ship. That's pretty wild.
1,232 is what the numbers say. 1,232.
Pretty wild.
Now, if you're running...
Someone was talking about certain colonization runs. And if you were doing it solo versus max cargo cutter versus what could be max cargo Panther Clipper, I think they calculated you would save 35 trips or something in the long run.
I think even if it's just a double-digit percentage of saved trips, given how large those Type 3 stations can be, that's going to save you dozens of trips if you properly build out a Panther Clipper for maximum cargo, maximum jump range, you know, not getting blown up by NPCs, and stick to, obviously, solo, because you
It's not quite like double a Type 9, but it's like 75%.
Yeah.
So, yeah, numbers-wise, 1,232 completely nothing but cargo. If you're running with, you know, an FSD booster, a fuel scoop, and assists, you've got 1,184. And then if you're running with a shield in there, a size 6 shield, it's 1,120.
Which is still wild.
Yeah, that is nothing to shake a stick at. You can't be upset with that.
That's a lot of cargo.
That's still 50% more than an unshielded cutter, And you can have a shield and a booster and a fuel scoop.
33%, but yeah.
Yeah, like you'll be able to haul more and do it in comfort and style. And have all the turrets in the world, or, double fighters or whatever if you really wanted to, and still be over 1,000 tons of cargo. Like, this is just a straight up boon to anybody that was doing large amounts of cargo hauling, specifically us, system colonization builders. But I think it's also important to remember cargo is pretty specifically useful for certain types of BGS and power play. And so if you're able to move stuff, especially since it seems like FDev has made it so that carriers you can't put stuff on carriers without it losing the influence or power play push. I think that's supposed to be how it is anyway. Like, carrier dumps can no longer push like they used to. Yeah. This right here could jump back and forth between a couple places. And with the proper boosts and the fact that you're probably going to be jumping into enemy territory, so you need to have a little bit of shield on, even for the NPCs, like the power NPCs that'll scan you. You're slow. You're going to take some fire if you get scanned. But you can still move 30 to 50% more cargo to undermine enemies or to reinforce your areas. That's going to be pretty big for BGS and power play.
Speaking of movement, the only thing we've heard about that was handling comparable to a Type 9.
Which doesn't surprise me. Like, it's got the size 7 thrusters, but there's only so much you can do with that kind of momentum.
Well, size 8 thrusters.
In normal space, the Type 9, as somebody who runs a rather fully engineered Type 9, it's a lot more maneuverable than people think.
Mm-hmm.
The Type 10 is even more so, but like the Type 9 isn't that bad.
I have definitely seen people in their fully engineered Corvettes that have handled worse than my Type 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't cross distances in anything resembling a quick manner, so...
Yeah. This Panther Clipper is going to be every single shot of the USS Enterprise going across the camera before it hits warp drive. It's going to... And I mean, they parodied it in the initial release, right? It just slowly coasting along. Like, given how large it is, it's moving fast, but it's still not... It does not look like it's moving fast. It looks ponderous. And that's 100% what this is going to do.
I cannot imagine this getting over 200 meters per second.
250 on boost is what I'm thinking right now. And just all those extra thruster points are going to be going into making it more maneuverable, especially when it's got its landing thrusters out.
Probably.
Yeah. Sort of like how with the Corsair, the size 7 thrusters, it can't break 600 meters per second, but boy, howdy, does that thing corner.
They also said that it's jump range and they said it's jump range and forget what else they said is comparable to, ships that size. So the Type 10, the cutter, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't have to landing gear toggle to line up for the mail slot, I'll be fine.
I would love to see the ship that cannot get through the mail slot if the landing gear are down. Because I'm pretty sure even things like the Type 10, the Anaconda, like big-ass ships, if you have your landing gear down, you can still scrape through if you put the top of the ship at the top of the mail slot and go through. I don't know if this thing's going to be able to clear it with the landing gear down.
The one to test that with will be the Beluga.
Yeah, I mean, it is really big, but it's mostly kind of wide. Oh, but it also has the fins that go up, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, the Type 10 has it has the wingies that pop up.
Right, the Type 10 has a little pontoons on the bottom of the wings that go up. Yeah, I think we need to do a little bit of testing on what ships can and get out of the mail slot with their landing gear up or down. But I get the feeling the Panther Clipper can't, just because of the massive rotation down and the fact that the thrusters in the back actually slide down a rail and then rotate in order to reach the ground. Like, that's a really cool animation, I gotta say. Like,
really cool animation.
Yeah.
Editor Gino, put that in.
Yeah. Hey, Gino, put in the fucking bullfrog thing.
You can see it like, whoop. I knew that was gonna happen, and I'm so glad they showed that on this. But like, it looks really
They
sick.
have
and-
been outdoing themselves with moving part animations recently, and it's been great
Yeah.
to see.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I do not like the Corsair visually, it has some really neat visual bits on it, like the rotating bits on the engines.
Or the fact that the headlights actually pop out.
Hashtag Python is dead.
Yeah. The headlights up front.
Headlights on
yeah. They remind me of
Has
those little
pop-out
bugs that have
headlights
the
in the
eyes. Yeah.
The Kuber 5 has the pop-up headlights with that one ship kit, which is really neat. I like this ship. I like this. It's so cool looking. It's big. It's chunky.
I'm meme about the name, but I'm with Minnie.
Yeah.
I like the design. The artist knocked it out of the park.
I'm probably going to end up getting two. One that's specifically dedicated to doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing, and then one that's going to be causing trouble. And I really want to see what it can do when it causes trouble.
I think it's going to be crazy to see what it can do for mining, too. I think that's the one thing we haven't touched on, but like it's kind of a given.
I mean,
With all
FDev
the
did
hard
say
points
it,
has.
right? Like, it's going to be a great laser miner. And even, I think, either Burr Pit or... No, I think it was the Burr Pit that said, like, oh, is this going to put the cutter to bed as the king of the asteroid belts? And it's like, I don't know about that.
Like,
I just pointed out earlier, if you just look at the size 7 and 8, that's 960 cargo. Then the rest of that optional catalog, you can do anything you want with that.
Yeah, I mean,
So, like,
you can have
even
5
hardpoint-wise-
different size 5 collector limpets. That's kind of wild.
Like, hardpoint wise, you can do like you can fill those 4 mediums with all of your, mining gubbins. You can have all the smalls be mining lasers and then like have just 2 huge or 2 large like beam lasers or something for production.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you literally could have it be
Silly.
entirely dedicated.
We've been going for about 45 minutes here.
Mm-hmm. So I think we just have one more thing to touch on, and it's when are we
Yeah.
getting this big beach?
When are we getting it?
So
Well,
July 22nd.
yeah, there it is.
July 22nd.
And interestingly enough, FDev specifically said before that the Panther Clipper and the Vanguard's update were coming out at roughly the same time. That's now
They said the Vanguard's update is going to be early August.
Yeah.
So just a little bit after.
couple
I'm thinking
weeks.
Maybe like August 12th or something.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so 2 to 3 weeks after, which is interesting. I think the first time they said the Panther Clipper was coming out with the Vanguard's update kind of makes me wonder what exactly is causing the unspecified delay in Vanguards. Or did they
Well-
just have the Panther Clipper done and they're releasing it early? One way or the other.
Maybe they didn't quite mean it would come out at the same time. I mean, this is still kind of it's same time frame, so, I guess in business speak, that is kind of the same thing.
I guess that'll just
like
have to
devil's
remain a
advocate
mystery.
thing.
Because, FDev is usually pretty cagey about actual development stuff. They don't want to tell us, well, we're actually
Yeah,
behind
they-
schedule on this and that.
Maybe they're half expecting something to be buggy with the release of the Panther, and they're giving themselves cushion to make sure that's fixed before Vanguards.
Yeah, I guess so. Although I think there's a lot more moving parts in Vanguards in our unreleased proto episode of Untitled Elite Podcast. We were talking about the Vanguards update, and it seems like there's a lot of bonuses, but only at certain times that might end up being a little hard to implement or might act in weird ways if there are other things acting on a player at the same time. So I'm wondering if specifically they are testing the Vanguard's bonuses system and need the extra time, but they don't want to delay the Panther Clipper and want to give players something, so it's not like 4 or 5 months without something coming out. I don't know.
It could also be they want to have the Panther out and see what impact it has before they roll out the other changes, because this is a big variable.
He's a big boy. Yeah.
Big boy.
And especially if
Big
people are going to be
variable.
getting mining bonuses and they can get mining on the Panther Clipper being bigger than it ever has been, FDev might rethink some of the bonuses if all of a sudden laser mining becomes a 1 billion credit per hour activity.
Yeah,
Right.
something like that.
Well, I think that just about covers it for the big lad himself. We have anything else we want to talk about for Elite specifically?
Not that I can think of. Maybe besides a quick recap.
I mean, we do have that CG that's ending literally tomorrow where FDev decided to bring Archon Delane outside of Archon Delane territory and have him throw a giant hissy fit on the Empire's doorstep while getting attacked by the Empire. I think that's just brilliant character writing. I'm waiting to see what happens with that. I don't think it's going to be a nothing burger. I think they're doing something specific. We'll just have to see what it is tomorrow.
No, it won't be a nothing burger. It'll be a Kumo burger.
Ha! Got him. And also those new Seeker Groms are going to be... Mwah. Ooh, I'm going to laugh so hard. Now I have to think even less when I want to stop somebody from running away.
But Gengar, do you even think?
Of course not. Do you think there's anything besides pulp in between these ears? I don't even have ears. It was very funny, though. In a video specifically about that, the missile sets, the commander who shall not be named mentioned right off the rip that Gankers, most of whom cannot defend themselves or actually fight real fights. It's like, my brother and Braben, they're giving me something to prevent you from running away. Why is it that you're calling Gankers the cowards when your entire player base that's fans of you are in your comment section saying, I'm just going to play in solo so I don't have to deal with these new missiles? It's like, bruh, you're barking up the wrong tree, man. Anyway, that's my pro-Ganker propaganda for today.
I'm not going to get into it. That's a story for another time.
Yeah.
I killed it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. Hopefully I can get this editing done by the end of the day and pop this video online. My name is Juno Garin. I've been joined by Admiral Celine Stardragon and Minnie Celeste. Thank you so much for joining me on this. Happy first episode, guys. We did it. Yay.
Technically it's episode 1. The last one was episode 0.
Yeah, we definitely have an episode 0, and it's never coming out. Anyway, thank you guys. Bye.